MG, that's how we live. Okay, let's go, 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 okay, let's go.
Welcome, y'all. Welcome to another episode of 7 p.m. in Philly. I'm your host, Steve. My co-host, Dwuan. He here. We back. Yo, and if y'all don't know, Dwuan is here to stay. I talked him into it, and he said, sure, why not? We here.
Listen, I'm gonna change your clothes. We here. We here with it. I love it. I like it.
Dwan's official. He's officially part of the 7 p.m. family. He's here to stay. He's here to rock with us, man. And at the end of the day, this is only going to get better and better and better. Shout out to my dog, Zach, in the background.
Zach Italian.
Zach Italian in the back. Holding it down as usual. Dog, we got another good episode for them, man. We got another good episode.
I think so. It's going to be impactful.
One of the things that we all are on our phones doing, it takes up most of the memory and the power and energy on the phones.
Big facts.
Is social media.
Big.
Social media plays a big part of our lives.
We're sociable guys too, so
Yes.
I also feel like that's why that plays a big part for us. Yeah. We're very sociable people, and we love to socialize outside as well as I feel like on social media.
For sure. It takes a big part of a lot of people's lives and days and time and all that stuff. So I feel like we need to talk about not only the positive sides of it, but the negative sides of it, and more of on a deeper level, because I felt like I've talked about this prior episodes, but it was more, talking about ratchet stuff and all that stuff, and she got the BBL, why don't you just post the doctor? So
now I feel like this negative is going to be more informative.
For sure.
Very informative.
Yeah. For the betterment of the people. So, like we do every episode, let's get right into it, bro.
Let's do it.
Let's dive. All right. So the first thing when it comes to social media, what I think is to where we're going to start with the negatives. The first thing I think is mental health, the mental health impact that it has on people. And we have a list here, and increased anxiety, depression, low self-esteem, especially due to unrealistic portrayal of life, man. What's your thoughts on that when it comes to the mental health impact of this?
Yeah, so I definitely think mental health has always been an epidemic for eons, as long as mankind has been around. But I think living in this era of social media, of society with social media, I think it definitely works as a like a microscope. Like whatever issues you have, I feel like social media can be used as a vice, but then it also magnifies your problems.
For sure.
So if you already have low self-esteem, if you already are an insecure person, you're just going to be that much more insecure because now you're looking at other people who think they're doing better or they appear to be doing better. So I think it just magnifies what you already feel on the inside. If you don't feel good about yourself, you already going to showcase that because you see that.
Absolutely.
What about you?
Yeah, for me, man, when it comes to the mental health aspect of it, it's kind of like if you're already fragile mentally and you go on social media, all it takes is just one thing and just throws you in the dumps. You know what I'm saying? Or makes you feel worse than what you're already feeling. You know what I mean? So if it's like, oh, you know what? Like, I feel like I don't look right, or I listen that, and then you go on social media and you look at someone else and you're like, oh, they're perfect, but not understanding that they have a filter on them, or not understand that this makeup and this production behind the scenes are photoshopped and all that stuff, and we're all striving to be this person on social media,
this image,
and it's not real. It's not realistic. And my thing, I always say, social media is not a real place. It's a make-believe place.
It is.
Because if social media was a real place, when you got into an argument with your girl, you're going to go in there and be like, you know what? I got an argument with my girl, so therefore, this is what's happening. But no, what we do, we go on there with our girls, and we just post we out on date night.
The highlight clips.
The highlights.
The highlight reels.
I mean, like, nah, man. If social media was real, and if we want to take it there, post the bad stuff too. Yo, today I'm arguing with my girl. Why?
Yeah.
Because she didn't, she didn't clean the bathroom, or she didn't do this, she didn't do that. I mean,
I think there are a lot of people. Well, I think there are a select few people that I know, whether they are content creators, Instagrammers, or people who just create content on any platform. I do know a few of them who have done well for themselves in the social media realm simply because they are authentic. They do showcase the negatives, the bad sides. Maybe they have bad mental health days. They might have lost a relative. They truly showcase the real, and that's why I feel like vlogging is. That's what true vlogging is. That camera is on 24/7 and people see your whole entire day, your whole entire life. Yeah. Nothing's being cut out. And yeah, I think that showcased the most authentic, but most of Instagram and most of social media, it's mainly highlight reels. It's just people highlighting the best parts of their lives, and no one's life is that glamorous, that amazing, and really that jealous of.
But that's what it is. And especially with this society that we live in now, everything's a copycat. Like everyone wants to copy everything else that someone else is doing instead of like going through their own progression of life and figuring out who they are. It's kind of like, it's easy for me to be this person instead of being myself. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I can agree, because I feel like most people in today's society aren't the happiest. Like, obviously, I wasn't around, 100 years ago, but what I'm saying is I feel like there's a self-sustainability that most people were genuinely, because they didn't have social media, they were genuinely happy, or at least made the best with what they had in front of them, because it was in front of them. That's all they had was their life. But people literally tap out of reality from their own world to go into a portal. There's really what it is. It's a portal, and you're consuming and consuming and consuming. Eventually, you're going to feel very crappy about yourself, even if your life isn't that bad, or it could really be crappy. You're going to think it's worse because you're watching people live way better. So I think it just magnifies really what you're already going through, how you feel. But most people aren't even happy with themselves, period. So they use social media, and it just makes you hate yourself even more and hate life more.
But I honestly also think that a lot of people that look at these people on social media and glorify them and be like, oh my God, I love this person, or this person's their life is so much better than mine. Most of the time, that's not even the case. Most of the time, the people that you're looking at social media and you think that their lives is so special and they have so much money and they're doing all this stuff, it's a lie.
Yeah. It's all fabricated.
It's a lie. Because you go online, right? Or you see on the news and be like, oh yeah, this person was committing fraud.
Yeah. Well, we talked about the Hulk Hogan last week.
Right.
Again, idolizing these idols that we call idols, and then we find out that they have a whole dark side to them and a past, or they have very dark things under their covers that we're like, oh my God, I didn't know they were like that.
Right.
Well,
like,
you know what I mean? They're human, and they have this large amount of wealth, success, and freedom. They gonna get into some stuff.
Right.
I'm just gonna say
exactly.
You know what I mean? They gonna get into some stuff. So yeah.
And I also think that plays into the false validation.
Absolutely, yeah.
When it comes to mental health and all that, because we go on there, it's like a hit of dopamine. When you get that like, or someone comment, and I'm guilty of it. Everyone likes to be liked.
Yeah,
I'm guilty
and
of it.
Everyone likes compliments.
Right, everyone likes compliments.
Hey, you like my shirt? Thank
right,
you.
I mean, like, if I'm feeling handsome, I'm going to post my pic and I'm going to throw a little music on it and I'm going to get jiggy with it. You know what I'm saying? And if, they like it, I'll be like, I'm doing my thing.
Yeah.
I get that.
Yeah.
But if I don't get the likes, that's the difference between me and other people. If I don't get the likes, I don't care.
Right.
Because I'm confident in myself to know that, like, you know what? I'm still the shit regardless if I get the likes or I don't. And that's the way people should carry themselves, but they don't. It's like, yo, you know what? I ain't get the amount of likes that I am. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna remove the like. And there's no more hearts on there. You know what? I'm not gonna get all the comments. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna remove the comments.
Yeah.
So I can kind of already tell, like, yo, bro, like, there's some insecurity going on right here.
Sure.
And it's sounding like, yo, man, like, that's what social media does to you.
You know what it is? Sometimes I think, and I could be right, I could be wrong, but I see social media sometimes as a social experiment. Check that. A social media as a social experiment. Because I do feel like I feel like the higher ups of social media, they have to see that the amount of people who are insecure, they have to see like the intake of people who maybe don't love. I think about it. Look, who's the top tier people of social media and just of that realm? They're usually BBLs, fillers, voluptuous hair, and all this, and the glitz thing. They got the muscles and everything. They fit this image. Most of the people around the world can't afford or just don't fit that glorified image. So if you're looking at that all day and that's the pinnacle of beauty, you're naturally going to think less of yourself. So again, it's almost like they are aware that people are insecure and they profit off people's insecurities, because then what do those insecure people do? They go get the lip fillers. They go get the hair extensions. They go get the hair plugs. They go get everything done. So I sometimes feel like social media is a social experiment. And I'm like, the rebel in me is like, I ain't falling for that shit.
Nah,
I ain't falling. I'm not gonna be insecure. You ain't gonna make me feel guilty
yeah.
and feel insecure.
Like,
but I be feeling insecure sometimes when I see some videos or pictures or whatever. I'm like, dang, I wish I was there.
I don't think it.
Bora be looking nice. Come on.
But I don't think that's an insecure thing, though. It's just kind of like, I ain't got the money yet. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think it's an insecure. You don't look at yourself and be like, damn, like, I'm less than because I'm not at Bora Bora or because I don't have the muscles. For me, if I look at it, it's more of like, you know what? I'm going to get my ass to the gym.
Sure.
You know what? I want to go to Bora Bora. You know what? Let me make some plays. Let me figure it out. To get to Bora Bora. I use it as inspiration instead of using it as like, you know what? I need to be this right now. Because one thing I know and I understand, everything has this time. And I feel like when looking at social media, it makes you want to get it right now, right now, right now, right now. Because you'll see certain girls or certain guys, they'll be like, oh, you know what? I'm here. I'm flying there. I'm flying there. You don't know if they're using a credit card to use it.
An EBT card.
All types of debt. They're on type of it. And then for the girls that be on there, you don't know what kind of fat man in the back that they don't never show.
They was going to the Middle East, right? And
you know what I'm saying? How'd you, and I said I wasn't going to get ratchet with it. I said I wasn't going to get ratchet with it, but that got me started. You know what I'm saying? Here we go. Because my thing is just kind of right. If I know you work at XYZ and you only make certain amount of dollars, how you affording going to Paris? How you afford going to Italy? Show that fat man in the back, bro.
Because there's some people I know who you about to have me get ratchet with you. I know some people in Section 8 housing. They sourced up by the government.
Right.
Government cheese, food filled with the government assistance stuff. But they be taking all these trips everywhere. And I'm like, how? I work hard all the time and I'm grateful for what I have. So I think I don't get jealous or anything. I'm way too secure for that. But I think sometimes I do get frustrated because I'm like, okay, as hard as I work and as hard as people around me work, why does it feel like that we receive very little and we're supposed to be grateful for this much when I know people who bumming it off the government, who's bumming it off of our taxpaying dollars, but every time I see you every 2 weeks, you want to cruise.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Absolutely. So that's why I think it gets very frustrating. So I don't think I get jealous, but I think I get extremely frustrated with, the good guy complex. Just, you're a good guy. Just work hard. Just do your thing. No, because I know we live in a real world. And I just, from my personal experience, I know a lot of people who cheat the system. And I know a lot of people who live in good off of cheating the system. And they living better than us. And they will continue to live better than us, cheating off the system.
For sure. Absolutely.
So that's where I'm at.
Absolutely.
That's where I'm frustrated with.
Yeah. And I think that goes into the distorted reality. Distorted reality.
Yeah, 100.
You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, this perception and this is their reality. It's kind of like, all right, yo. And my thing that always pisses me off is kind of like dudes are like, especially guys. I feel like guys get cars and do things for other guys. And it's kind of like, yo, bro. When I was growing up, I did things for the chicks. I did things for ladies. Like, because, I wanted ladies to like me.
Sure.
If I got fresh, you know what? My homies would be like, yo, dog, you looking fresh. But that don't get me hype. It got me hype when shorties be like, oh, yeah, you're looking good. Your sneakers look fly.
Yeah.
And I feel like, yo, at the end of the day, guys get these cars and like, I'm going to get this Mustang or I'm going to get this Challenger, Charger, and there's just all this fake living, but they won't show you where they live at. They're not going to show you where their house is at. You don't know what their bank account look like. You know what I'm saying? They're doing all this stuff, but they're showing the pictures of it. And you know what's so crazy? People actually believe that shit.
Oh, absolutely.
People actually believe.
And I'm fully convinced that I think a lot of men who are insecure, they don't even realize that they subconsciously do it for the approval of other men. Yeah. They think they do it for women. No. And they may get gratification because that's what they're going for, but they don't even realize subconsciously it's for the approval of a man. You park your car like that, not just for women, but it's for dudes who you think are higher up seeing you in that position so they can give you or the dudes who are lower tier who's looking like, oh man, I'm jealous. I want that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I think a lot of dudes like that are subconsciously doing it for men they don't even realize.
Because I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna be honest with y'all.
Talk it.
A woman doesn't know the difference between a regular Charger and an SRT. She does not know. She does not know the difference, bro. So if you pull up and you pull up in a regular Charger or Challenger, you know what she's gonna say? Nice car. It's nice. She's not gonna go, oh, that's the 392 Hemi Scat Pack. Yeah. It has how much exhaust?
The engine sounds like this.
Right.
Yeah.
They don't know it.
Yeah.
So that's why I say dudes do a lot of things for other dudes, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like for me, right? I got my convertible. Is it a 2025
love
or whatever?
convertibles, bro.
I got it because you know what? It's therapeutic to me.
Yeah.
I enjoy it. I like it. If someone gives me a compliment, cool.
Yeah.
It's for date night for me and my girl. Other than that, I drive my little Tesla around for my day to day.
He said my little Tesla. Y'all heard that, right? My little Tesla.
I mean,
Zach, you heard that, right?
but that's what
My
it is.
little Tesla.
That's the way I
ain't-
look at
you ain't
it.
shit, yo.
Hey, but at the end of the day, I don't
Nah, I
do
like
it.
that. I like that. Respect.
I don't do it for other people.
Sure.
And then also for me, I pride myself in living a real life. Like what you see is what you see. Is what you're gonna get.
Facts.
When you pull up to my crib, you're gonna see it. It matches who I am.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm not giving this false person. Like I'm not, Steve always looks fresh, but when you pull up to his crib looks crazy. No.
Right.
This is who I am. And I worked hard for that shit.
Sure.
And I explain to people like, yo, bro, you gotta go through the fire in order to get what you have to get to.
That's what it is, though. I think the average person and a lot of people don't want to go through the fire. No. They think it's easy to cut corners, cheat the system, or just cheat their way around. And you realize you set yourself back, and you're actually wasting more time. You go through the fire. Right. That's where the most learning, and you just build yourself. That's where it all counts. And when you step out of that furnace, you're polished. You're ready to go. Right. But yeah, a lot of people just don't want to go through the fire. They're afraid of the heat, man.
Right. So that I attribute that to social media. It's kind of like equivalent to HGTV. Y'all ever watch HGTV?
Like about the house channel?
Yeah. The house channel, HGTV.
Yeah.
So when you watch HGTV, right, and this is what pisses me off. Now that I'm like a homeowner and I understand like how buying a house and renovations and all that shit, like building it from the ground up, HGTV, when you go into the show, right, they'll show you, okay, yeah, this is how much a house costs, this is how much to put down, and this is how much it costs to build it, and blah, 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 blah. But they don't never talk about like, yo, you got to get the house inspected.
Come on.
You gotta look out for this. You got to look out for that. They never give you the nitty gritty of what it takes. They just tell you the beginning and the end. Yeah. Nothing in between.
They don't tell you that the pipes are busted and that's going to be a problem in the next few months.
Right. They don't tell you the house has asbestos or termites or none of that stuff. You mean like they don't tell you none of that stuff. Oh, the zoning is not right. 100%. Or you got to get a permit for this. Or the contractors just stop and just don't show up anymore. Yeah. Or the contractors just don't know what the hell they're doing. They're just bad contracts. They don't tell you none of that. So I feel like it's the same thing with social media. People just show you the before and they show you the after. Most of the time, they don't even show you the before. They just show you the after.
That is true.
They just show you the after.
That's a bar. That is definitely a bar.
When you go there, right? When you go on social media, for guys and girls, guys that go to the gym, you know what? I'm gonna just show you. I'm not gonna show you before what I look like. I'm gonna just show you now. How'd you get there? Oh, I took roids. I took roids to get there, but they're not gonna tell you. They don't want to show you like how I looked before because they're not gonna be like, oh goddamn, bro, how the fuck did you get that big? Right. They're not gonna show you that. Equivalent to women. Once a girl get a BBL and get her ass done, that is it. She will remove every single photo from that. So
previously,
bruh, so you were just born with that big old ass, right? You were just born. You came out the womb.
Just natural.
Ass.
Just natural.
Come on, bro. Yeah. Like, and that's the thing. Yeah. It's not reality, bro. Yeah. It's not reality.
And it's harmful too. People, again, roids, the BBLs, a lot of this stuff, people don't realize how harmful those things actually are. The aftercare. Yes. You know, same thing with a house. You buy this house, it looks beautiful, but again, the aftercare. Yes. So again, this is why people step into life. They think, oh, I'm going to cut corners. I'm going to just get to live this Scarface life. Yeah. But what happened at the end of that? The aftercare. He did all that fighting to get to that life that he wanted. Once he got to the peak of sitting at his little desk, that was the height before everything went crazy. So again, it's the aftercare. It's the preparation. It's the journey. You have the destination, but then you have the aftercare. And I think everything else is usually neglected. And again, social media literally is a proponent of that. It's just showing you the end goal. There's more after that. What do you do after you have the house? Because it's one thing to buy a house. Can you keep it? It's one thing to have these things, but can you keep it? It's a whole different ballgame.
And I honestly think that at the end of the day, man, like we need to do a better job of, if you're gonna be on social media, you're gonna do it and you're gonna show it. Show what it took to get there.
Absolutely.
Show what it took to get there.
that,
Talk
yeah.
about the journey because people will actually appreciate you a little bit more if you talk about the journey.
Sure.
Like, yeah, I got here, but you know what? I had to sleep on the couch. I had to do this. I had to do that, blah, blah, blah. And this is how I did it. Not just, oh, you know, I'm here. I'm the man. I didn't need nobody. I didn't have nobody to help me. It's like, it's like this pod blows up and we get all this stuff, but we don't talk about Zach.
Right.
We don't talk about Scooter. We don't talk about Remy. We don't talk about nobody. We just, you know what? You know what? Me and Dwuan did this shit all ourselves. You know what? We set up everything. We did all this.
Yeah.
Bro, that's not reality.
100%. But even giving you your guys your flowers and your credit, even before I got here, looking at your guys' previous videos, you guys have that, not even like get it out the mud personality, but like y'all are just raw and authentic. Your first episode that I saw was immediately raw and organic, which made me extremely excited to be like, oh, I can't wait to be a part of this because I saw how organic and natural it was. You guys are natural. You guys talk about realistic topics. The more we grow and expand our knowledge and wisdom, I'm sure we'll have teaching seminars because I like to teach at some point. I know Zach does. I'm sure you do too. So we're going to be giving game to the young bulls coming up, you know, to the young ladies coming up. So just seeing your progression from where it was in the beginning to now, I got to give you your flowers as well because you really hold on to that as well. Absolutely, you hold steam to that, man.
And being able to being a flexible person and talking about your life to people, I think that shit's important when it comes to social media. And I think we devalue that. I don't think we actually realize how important it is to talk about your personal experience, like your real personal experience, not all the glitz and glamour, about your hardships, talking about that. I think we just go straight to the highlights, and I think it's caused people to be weird now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So now, when you meet people face to face, everyone's weird. Yeah. Everyone can't talk about their lives anymore because they're so used to being behind the computer or being behind the phone. It's just, everyone's weird, man. And I think that is what was this, the decrease face to face. I think a lot of these kids growing up in social media. So like we knew pre-social media. So there's still a level of, now don't get me wrong, there's some people I know our age who are definitely weird, right? But there's a different level of weird about them compared to these kids who like, they lack social skills. They lack sociable verbiage, how to speak, eye contact, yes sir, no ma'am, a firm handshake. When you walk in the room, you greet everyone. When you leave, you say goodbye. I do believe in the Irish goodbye at times. Oh, I am the man. Shout out to Dane, dog. Yo, Dane, you made me a professional Irish goodbye.
Oh, bro. Dane's one of them.
Oh man,
he looked like he one of them. Dane looked like he'll float it. Dane looked like he will come in, have a good time, and will dip.
Bro,
he looked like one of them, right?
Yo, he is the best of the best, dog. He's the Drake of Irish goodbyes, bro. Like, he will he will bounce on you quick. And be like, yo, I'm gonna go to the bathroom. Yeah, I'll be back. Hit him like, yo, where you at? Oh, I'm home eating a cheesesteak.
Wow.
It's gone.
That's a vet. I need to be like that. Gone. I still feel like, to a degree, it's not people pleasing, but there's still a level, I think, because I was raised old school, to be like, all right, I'm out, y'all. And then I just, bye, Dwuan, see you later, boom, and then I'm out.
Yes.
But even then, sometimes I'm like, I don't feel like saying goodbye to everybody. Y'all holler at y'all, peace be with y'all, boom, I'm going. But that's a vet right there. If he could do that, I respect that.
He's a big vet.
Yeah, but these kids today, though, they definitely, you can tell they were raised to be literally staring at a screen 24/7, where the way they look at a screen is the way that they look at a human. It's almost like they're not looking at a human. And I have a few kids in my chair when I cut their hair, I can see the difference between kids who were raised by the tablet and kids who were definitely raised with parents who definitely did not have them in their space as much. For sure. Because these kids definitely lack social skills and, you know, being able to just operate in the world. And I'm looking at like, okay, if you're a kid right now, you're 8 years old, and this is where you're at. If this isn't fixed and corrected, you're going to be an adult. You're going to be amongst other humans. You're going to be amongst our children. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I think that's highly concerning.
I just think when it comes to decrease face to face, people are scared to.
Wait, can I touch on that real quick too?
Go ahead.
One last thing too. I think, and this might be a little extreme, but I do research a lot too. I think this also breeds sociopath and psychopaths too. I've learned, and from doing research, that a lot of kids and young adults who are raised playing video games by themselves alone, or just they didn't grow up in a household where there was a lot of interaction. That kid always stayed in his house, always stayed in the room, didn't really talk to people. It's easier for that child to almost lose humanity and lose a sense of humanity for humanity. So you can end up doing very heinous things or just doing very dark things and you don't really have that sensible connection with another human because you didn't get that in your adolescent years. So that's also even scarier, not even just something to talk about. It's also just bringing awareness that like it can really breed a generation of just, you know, really severe mental health, like psychopaths and sociopaths.
I believe that.
Yeah,
I can definitely see that.
Definitely.
And I think social media and just, you know, this whole thing in totality has created people to become socially awkward. Because I've even gone on dates, and it's kind of like, you know, nowadays, like no one, I went on a date a while ago, but nowadays people, they don't call, they just text. Everything's text.
Yeah.
I'm old school.
Yeah.
So I like to get on the phone and talk, because it's like, that's how you get to really know the person, via conversation. Text, you can't really tell whether, you know, you being funny or you being serious or you just being sarcastic. You can't tell. So the one time I dated a chick, and via text, she was beautiful. She was great.
Yeah.
It was awesome. We had great conversation.
Yeah.
Face to face or conversation, mute.
Nails on the chalkboard.
Mute. And that led to me breaking up with her, because I could not.
Yeah.
I couldn't do it.
There's no depth. That's sad. There's no depth with that.
Right.
Yeah.
Because it was like when we had issues and we wanted to talk about something, I couldn't do it.
Right.
She wouldn't be able to reciprocate, because she just didn't know how to, because she was so accustomed to talking via behind a screen.
Yeah, that's scary to me.
You know what I'm saying?
That's scary to me.
I
That's
think
scary.
that's what social media breeds. It's kind of like people will get on the camera and they'll do all their TikTok dances and all that stuff, but when you meet them in person, they're weird.
Wait, have you ever seen? Okay, so I was in New York, right? I've seen this quite a few times. The few times I've been in New York, or even in the city in Philly, but New York specifically, those social media people, where they be in the middle of the subway or in the street, and they're doing the craziest TikTok this, and you know, Spider-Man, Miles Morales that, and then the moment they turn the phone off, they go,
they're done.
just done.
That's it.
The fact that you can disconnect like that, again, kind of psychopathic.
Yeah.
It's giving sociopath.
Yeah.
The fact that you can just disconnect like that from interacting with your social peers, and then just being completely awkward in the natural realm, and you're in New York.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of weirdos around you.
Yeah, for sure.
I think that's kind of strange. I think that's like scary. I think that's something that we need to would be worried about.
Yeah. And I think that brings us to a shortened attention span. You know what I mean? Like,
Peak. I think that should be at the top of the list.
I mean, people, you know, they just don't have the mental capacity just to, you know what, sit there, because nowadays, like if you go on YouTube Shorts, that's a big thing. The Reels and all that, like they give you a certain amount of seconds to where you can do that. So if they're creating that, you know what, you only need to watch it for a minute 10 tops, bro.
Right.
And it's kind of like, it causes people like, you know what, if you don't get your point across within that minute, I don't want to sit here.
And for me, content creating is really hard for that, because some of the stuff that I like to speak about or portray through my content isn't 8 seconds long worthy. You gonna get the good stuff at the end, but if your attention span is too long, you're not gonna watch it, and that's gonna ruin my engagement. And then, you know what I'm saying? So now that's wasted wisdom or whatever it is that could have been pushed out there because you can't hold on for 4 extra seconds for a video. That again, that's got just scary where we're at in society, where people can't even retain that much information or time for that much information for that long.
Yeah, and but that's what Facebook does. That's what Snapchat does.
Yeah.
That's what Instagram
But
stories
TikTok,
are.
But I would say TikTok made that worse though. Like TikTok started that. Would you agree?
I just recently got on TikTok, maybe like last year, so I didn't know what TikTok really consisted of.
Yeah.
So for me, when I got introduced to TikTok, it's just motherfuckers dancing and doing all the, all that dope shit. Like,
That was such an ugly era, though.
Bruh.
2020 TikTok from like 2020 to like 2023, ugly era, bro. That was ugly, bro.
The only reason
That
I
was
got
ugly.
on TikTok is because of the pod. I was just like, yo, I gotta do something, so I gotta be on there. That's the thing. So I was like, yeah. But other than that, I didn't know. But like for me, IG stories was the thing, and it's kind of like on IG stories you get maybe 30 seconds, 50 seconds tops or something like that, and it's kind of like that's the attention span. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like it's one of those things that if someone had too many of stories or whatever, it's kind of like enough of you.
Yeah, you skip them.
I'm done. Enough, because that's what our attention span has become.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And now it's trickled down to these kids to where you can't even have a conversation with them because they'll start looking elsewhere. They start looking here. They start looking there. So
Do you have ADHD?
I don't think so.
Okay. Well, I was diagnosed at a very young age, so I know I have ADHD, and I think people get misconstrued with just having ADHD as a short attention span, but that does play a big part of it. Yes, that's a big part where you know hard to retain information that's not valuable to you. So I want to make that clear because people think people with ADHD are just dumb and it's like, oh, squirrel. No, if what you're sharing is not important to me, my brain registers, why am I retaining this? And why am I wasting time taking? Now, again, that's not mature. As an adult, sometimes it's life. You might need to sit through a lecture or something where you need to retain information. And again, that comes with trial and error and just learning myself and knowing who I am. But that's how the brain operates. So people think of ADHD as like, oh, you're just an idiot. And it's like, oh, squirrel, short attention span. I can't keep my mind. No, talk about something that if someone with ADHD likes, you can't get them to shut up. They will lock in. But it's sharing stuff that they don't care, that they're not interested in. They're not willing to it's harder for them to retain and listen to you.
I agree, but I think that we can't mix up the two. I mean, we can't mix up the ADHD and the short attention span because I think social media has created the short attention span thing.
Well, and you're right, I should have clarified that. What I was trying to get to was for people like me with ADHD, I can see where social media, being a content creator and being on social media, where it has, where I realized, wow, I'm really battling my attention span. Like I'm realizing now it's harder for me to listen. It's hard for me to pay attention because again, I'm so used to quick information, getting it quick. So as a proponent to that and as a caveat to that, to strengthen, just to give information, just to strengthen your attention span is reading and meditation. I think for me, since I've been applying that, it has really regained my attention span. Listening to seminars, listening to sermons, listening to something that's long and actually trying to focus. Reading, like I said, reading really helps in meditation. I was just giving that a scoop out, again, information that help. That should be able to help you guys out. Because it's a struggle.
And I completely agree. I think I don't think I have a short attention span. I just don't like to listen to bullshit. So, so it's about it for me. If you're just talking some bullshit, I'll be like, I'm done. Like, I'm out. I'm out. Because you just talking nonsense. It holds no value to me. You know what I mean? So therefore, it's kind of like I'm out. But it's like, in order for me to be able to, I do have an issue focusing sometimes because it's kind of like, I feel like my brain is just kind of always working. I want to do this. I want to do that. I want to do this. I want to do that. Like it just it's inside of like you'll be sitting down, you're talking to me, and while you're talking to me, I'll be like, oh, idea.
I'm doing the same thing. Oh, we doing the same thing. We doing the same thing.
Like I'm saying, so it's one of those things. Yeah. But at least I have that attention. I'm still paying attention. But the thing is, like now that you're telling me something, I'm utilizing that information to create something bigger. To
come on to the next thing. Yes. The next topic, the next thing, the next idea. Absolutely. Yes. That's kind of how we work. That's kind of how we operate in any average ADHD mind. Right. Usually functions like that.
Right.
Like I said.
But I feel like due to social media, I feel like it's created people to not even like, you know what? On to the next thing. On to the next thing. Not even like, retaining anything. It's just kind of like your eyes. It seems like you're like in a... Never seen the cartoons when the motherfucker eyes are just like in a spiral like this? Yes. It's kind of like how you become on social media, like, next, booties, basketball. That's what social media has it's created. Yeah. So it's one of those things, and I think people need to talk about this, like us talking about this, and understand like there's an issue here.
Major.
Because I feel like people don't talk about it being an issue. They're just kind of like, this is normal life. This is just what it is. But it's an issue. This is a problem.
Absolutely.
And I think if you don't talk about it, it's only going to get worse. But if we do talk about it, you can actually realize it and be like, you know what? I didn't even know I had that problem. I listened to 7 p.m. in Philly, and, they talked about it. And, you know what? I do that. I do see the issue.
Yeah, facts.
You know what I mean? So that's what it is. And, and talking about that, and we can segue into the positive sides of it. You know what I'm saying? Community, us as your community. And that's what we created this podcast for community. Staying in touch with friends. Building communities around each other, sharing interests, finding support groups.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? So I do think, especially of finding support groups, I do think with social media, it's giving us an outlet for us to find our people. Like-minded people.
Very much.
People who think like us. People because that's what it's really essentially about. Following people that are like-minded. Following things that you like that empowers you. You know what I'm saying? So I think that is what social media should really be about, the core of it, the essence of it, but it just got misconstrued into all these other things.
As always, as everything does. Everything may have good intentions, but if it's not held to a standard, it's naturally going to drift off.
Right.
So, but I agree. I mean, coming from someone who moved around a lot, I made a lot of friends with every town and city I moved to, but again, I moved around a lot. Yeah. So it was very hard for me to keep connections with people. Facebook came out around, from what I remember, 2007, it was big. So I remember starting a Facebook account to keep in touch with my friends. That was literally the only premise. I would tell my friends, like, hey, I'm going to be going out to the park and hang out with them, to let them know. Because, I mean, I grew up a Christian kid, hyper-religious, so I really couldn't have a cell phone like all the other kids had cell phones. Yeah. So I use Facebook as like a phone call, as a social media text message. Right. I'm going to be at the courts, 8 a.m., meet me outside, and I'll be outside all day, though. You get what I'm saying? I used it to build community, but it also kept me in touch with a lot of people because, again, like I said, I moved around a lot. So it was hard, but it was beautiful. And like I said, to this day, I have friends, when I first started on Instagram started in 2013. I have people who followed me since 2015 around in Jamaica. I got a few people from Jamaica, a few people from South Africa to this day. Yeah. And was like, yo, I've watched you grow from 2015 to literally 2025, 2026 now. So, you know what I'm saying? I think that's something to be said, that we can really hold genuine great connections as we would physically overseas with social media. Again, if it's used right. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I look at social media. A lot of it, the core of it, for me per se, is keeping in touch with family, keeping in touch with friends. Because life is life, and as you get older, you start having kids. You get a wife. You do all this stuff, and you start, your core friends. You have your core friends, but then you have your other friends outside of it. It doesn't mean you love them any less or whatever, but they live here, you live there, they having a family, they just, things are just happening, work and things that you want to do with your life, that you kind of lose that connection. I can't text you all the time. I can't do all this all the time. So social media is an outlet for me, like, yo, listen, this is what's going on. I just had a baby, or this and that, or I just got married. You're able to do that, and I think that's really important. I think that's what's really cool about social media, is being able to stay in touch without being able to stay in touch.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Absolutely. So, but also other than connection and community, education.
Yes, very much so.
Education and learning,
very
man.
much so,
I've learned a lot. Whether it's something basic, learn how to, maybe paint or maybe work a camera. I mean, like, I've learned a lot from social media. And I think a lot of times we don't even appreciate it.
Absolutely.
I think that's overlooked.
Absolutely. I think it's very useful. I feel like social media, again, I said it before, it's like a microphone. It's like a magnifying glass. Yeah. You can learn so much. So whatever you put your attention to, you can learn. So if you feel like I've never learned this, I always wanted to learn how to play the saxophone. You don't have to go to a physical person anymore. You still could, but you could legit get multiple classes online. For sure. It's just amazing. And like I said, I personally have never used social media in a negative way. It may have reached me in negative ways, but for the most part, I've always I like to learn. It seems like we're all like that. We're all capable of like that. We like to learn and know more things and discover new things. So for me, every time I open up my phone, I like to look up new topics, or if you mention something, I'm like, all right, let me put that in my notes so I could do research on that. I love researching stuff. Yeah. So for me, I always found social media to be fun, simply because of being able to learn and through learning just higher education and just learning through education. Yeah,
for sure. Like and I'll be completely honest with y'all. If it wasn't for YouTube, I call it YouTube University. Yeah. If it wasn't for that, this podcast would not be where it's at today. You know what I'm saying? I learned every single bit and piece of this podcast game from social media. Facts. And that's what helped me get to where I'm at today. So it's like social media can be a tool, a benefit, if you let it.
Absolutely. If you want to be stupid through social media, then that's what you get. And if you want to become more intelligent, it can do that for you as well. It's all on where you put your attention.
Yeah. And also, like, spreading awareness. I think that's another thing. I feel like through our climate of social issues and things that are happening around the world, I feel like the news is only going to give us the news. The news is tailored to give us a certain bit and piece of what's going on around the world and give it to you in a certain way. Sure. Whereas like social media, they give you the raw.
Yeah.
You mean? Pause.
Major pause, yeah. But I do feel like the news at one point, I could be wrong, but I do feel like when I talk to my older relatives, a lot of them say at one point you got the news, which is exactly what it was. It was the news. Yeah. As an incident happened or a situation happened, you could look on every news channel or news station. You got that exact information.
Right.
News today, this is why a lot of the boomers, I feel like they bump heads a lot because a lot of us don't watch the news anymore. I know I don't. I'm not down with that propaganda. But I'll say this. I'll say this because I get my information elsewhere. So I'm not knocking anybody else who does. But I notice if there's an incident that happened worldwide or at least within our country, people who watch MSNBC or CNN,
for sure,
which is more liberalized, they're going to get a propaganda version. And the people who watch Fox or something that's more conservative, you're going to get your rendition. For sure. And again, I've always heard there's his story, her story, and then there's always the truth. Correct. And so back then, I felt like the news was really good at giving you exactly what it was. Today's day and time, I don't know when it started, but that's why I'm like, I refuse to watch the news. I may get some information, but I'm always going to be like, let me start diving. Let me dive and get the real facts because I feel like the news is always going to propagate that. That's what it's going to do.
I feel like I'm the same way. Like, I watch local news. I'm big on ABC local because I need to know what's going on around my neighborhood.
Yes,
I'm big on that. But like CNN and MSNBC, whatever, I take that with a grain of salt. I'm going to get what the core issue is, and then I'll do my own research.
That's what intelligent people do, though.
You know what I'm saying?
There you go.
But we have a lot of other people. It's just kind of like, CNN, especially to like the Caribbean folks, like my parents, bro. They live by CNN, bro.
Black folk too. Black Americans too.
CNN don't let Don Lemon come on, bro. Like, yo, bro.
Yes, bro.
Yo, they live by CNN. Yes. Anything that's happening around the world, bro, CNN is Bible.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. And I understand, like, yo, bro, like these networks and CNN and like Don Lemon, all of them, they have a job. Like, they got fired. Like, these people Don Lemon got fired because he couldn't tell the truth. He couldn't tell the truth.
Get what I'm saying?
Him and the homie Cuomo, whatever. Like, they got fired because they couldn't tell the truth, or they just had to go about things a certain way. So I
better read what's on them damn cards.
Right.
Read what's on the cards.
Read what's on the card.
Screen.
You better stay within the script, bro.
That's it.
You flip the script.
Yeah.
You gotta go.
Now, granted, like you said, your parents' generation, our grandparents' generation, they grew up in a culture where that's the only news source they had was the news. Right. Back then when they didn't have TVs, everybody sat around after dinner, turn on the radio, and they sat and listened. That was the main information. And what it was usually 100% factual. Yeah. But today's day and time, you watch MSNBC, or you watch Fox, two different, and the only reason I'm naming those two because they're two different, liberal and conservative. You're going to get two different renditions. Of the same story. You can probably pick some truth from here and pick some truth from there. Okay, this is where they were telling the truth. This is where they're telling the truth. But they're always going to put their own little spin on it. Yeah, and this is why I feel like our society is really big at butting heads, whether it's Republican and Democrat, whether it's this or that, left and right, black and white. It's always this and this because, again, our news source is very just choppy right now. Yeah. We really don't know the truth. And that's why I think a lot of us are seekers. Like a lot of us millennials are true natural detectives. And I don't know, I can't speak for every millennial, but a lot of the millennials that I talk to, that I socialize with, a lot of them be like, I just want to know the truth. I'm tired of being lied to.
That's it.
We were taught to go to school, get a good education, go to college, buy a white picket fence, get married, retire, and live a good old life. None of us most likely can't do that without selling our souls. Right. So I think a lot of us are just really desiring just to know the truth. We're tired of being lied to.
Yeah. I completely agree. I feel like, that's what the news and social media, a lot of social media has become, is just someone, and the thing is, like, a lot of people don't even do their research. Someone hears something and they go, you know what, this is Bible, this is it. And then they go on social media and they spew it.
100%.
They spew
Quick
it.
to run to it.
And it's kind of like, that could be a good thing and that could be a bad thing because it's kind of like sometimes we don't know. We don't know certain things, and it's kind of like, yo, I was in Mississippi and I seen this and I seen that. This is what's happening in Mississippi. And it's kind of like, could that be the truth? Yes. Could that not be the truth? Maybe.
That's,
you know what I'm saying?
That's why I think TikTok's also like under threat. It has been under fire because I can't speak for other social medias, but I do feel like TikTok is the most rawest form of what's going on. Yeah. TikTok. I agree. I told you guys earlier, I saw a meme or a guy say on TikTok, and it's going viral now on TikTok because he said, when I hear this stuff's going on in the world, I run to two things, ChatGPT and I run to TikTok. I don't even run to the news. I don't run to other news sources anymore. I barely run to Google or websites because that is usually the most rawest, truest form of information right now. So a lot of people are running to TikTok, which is why I feel like it's under so much scrutiny and fire. So
yeah.
I thought we were supposed to keep it light. My bad.
You mean
did we tilt a little bit?
we were supposed to. This was supposed to be the light.
It's all right. We like to teach. That's all. We here to teach.
That's what it is. What else did we touch on? Did we touch on what we got?
We did education and learning.
Education and learning.
Yeah, now we're
and
on creativity and inspiration.
Creativity and inspiration.
Discover new ideas in art, fashion, beauty, design, lifestyle. Share your creativity through photos, video, writing, music, etc.
So as for you as a stylist, a barber, and so on and so forth, do you say social media had a part of playing that for you to get into that, or is that something you just kind of like? You know what? I was at the crib and I see my pops cutting, and I was just like, I want to do that.
Yeah, I can honestly, I think subconsciously social media contributed to that.
Okay.
I don't think I even realized, because when I was young, I've been cutting hair. I'm 30 now, but I've been cutting hair unprofessionally since I was around 11.
Okay.
First time I grabbed clippers, I was 11 years old. So I remember looking on YouTube videos back when YouTube had very little videos, especially barber videos. They had like very few things that was like education. It was usually stupid stuff, stupid videos. Yeah. So I remember just looking at the same like 3 videos over and over again and looking up how to do that. So yeah, I think subconsciously it definitely played a part in sculpting my creativity and how to be inspired. And sometimes when you fall off, especially in social media, you're going to always fall off. If you're a content creator, you're going to go through writer's block or dry spell or whatever. You need to be re-inspired. Yeah. So sometimes going on social media, seeing other creatives that are in your niche can re-inspire you. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? What about you?
Absolutely. For me, for me, it's fashion. I'm big on fashion, like Pinterest. Like that is, love Pinterest. Yo, shout out to Pinterest.
Shout out to Pinterest. I got one too. Yeah, they real.
I love Pinterest. Pinterest gives me a lot of different ideas. It's just a platform where a lot of creators just put their design ideas out there, and then I kind of like to put my own twist on things. I don't like to copycat. I like to put my own little twist on things. I might get inspired by something and do that. So Pinterest is one of my biggest things. And like, it helps me with like fashion. I need to get dressed or something like that. It's kind of like, all right, well, I bought these sneakers. I don't know how to make it coordinate. I go to Pinterest, I type in the name of the sneaker, whatever, and Pinterest will get that to me. So social media gives that. It gives a lot of fashion tips for me. And then watching like just other podcasters. I mean, like I think that helps me also how to speak, how to kind of be myself, and just a mixture of all those stuff. Because when I first started this podcast, it was a lot of like, all right, you know what? I gotta be formal. I gotta be like this and hey, yeah, welcome to 7 p.m. in Philly, and stay on script. Sure. Whereas now it's kind of like, yo, I can look over at Zach and say, yo, Zach's right there. Before I would be like, yo, be quiet. Be quiet. No noise on the set. So whereas like, yo, nah, like watching other people on social media and stuff like that made me realize like, yo, you can make noise. You can say, yo, there's people in the background helping out. I mean, this is not like the movies where it's like you're not supposed to see the camera. Right. Look at the camera. Right. I mean, like
we engaging with y'all. Yeah. Y'all here with us.
Because at the end of the day, what it is, and what I've learned from the people who are successful in podcasting, they look at the camera. They let them know that, yo, people are really watching. You guys exist. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like that's what social media had gave to me and how I became able to be a better podcaster. You know what I'm saying? So so I think that's one of the things that helped me grow in my professional and my personal journey.
And I'll leave off with this topic too. For anyone that's ever struggling with like severe depression or you feel like you're lacking in life, I feel like all humans are meant to create something. I think
that's important.
Yeah. So I feel like if you're really struggling with, you may not even realize like I'm depressed or, I feel uninspired. Go find something to create. I don't care if it's building a sandcastle. Us as humans, we're meant to create something. The only creation we should not be looking to is just procreating. Like there's so much more that we can create: art, life, music, like everything we just listed. You're meant to create. So figure it out. Don't just think, oh, I need to, again, go to school, go to college, get a job. Find a hobby, and find a hobby that really doesn't cost much money. I know it's hard in this economy, but find a hobby that really brings that youth back into you. And they always say, find a hobby that you used to love to do when you was a kid. Yeah, for sure. So if it's coloring, go buy a few coloring books from the dollar store and just color. You'd be surprised. Play some lo-fi, some good lighting, sip on some tea and color. You will find peace that you were looking for, and it will probably pull you out of that depression. So I just want to leave people with that as well. Really good for you.
And one of the things I wanted to leave people with is that social media makes you think that the only professions that are important or that pays or that you can do is becoming a basketball player, entertainer, doctor, lawyer, all that stuff. But like what's really important, and a lot of people that I know make money, they make money off of trade, plumbing, electrician, carpenter. The list goes on and on. You can become that and still make a lot of money.
Absolutely.
And it's okay. You don't need to be this big entertainer or this glitz and glamour. You don't need, some jobs don't come with the glitz and glamour. Some jobs you do it behind the scenes. The cameraman makes a lot of money too. You know what I'm saying? The writer makes a lot of money too. Just the artist makes it. Yeah, but the writer does also. I mean, so at the end of the day, do not let social media make you think that you're less than. Do not let social media think that you can't do it. Do not let social media make you feel like nothing's possible. Everything is possible. Anything is possible. Even if someone comes on there and say, hey, yo, you can't do that. You know how many people told me that, yo, you can't start a podcast, or a podcast can't happen via social media, or podcast is oversaturated. So what? You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to create a podcast, and I created a podcast, but you know what? I talk about real stuff. We talk about real stuff. So I will not, don't let social media kill your dreams. If you're going to use social media, use it to empower your dreams. Don't let it kill your dreams, man.
That was beautiful, bro. I ain't gonna lie. I'm sorry. That was beautiful. That was dope. That was beautiful. That was real, though. That's
Thanks,
real.
Man.
That's
Thanks,
real,
brother,
bro. I love that.
Thanks,
I love
man.
that shit.
And, you know, to sign up, you know, entertainment and joy. Use social media for what it is sometimes, man. A lot of people use it as an outlet to get away. Like, we have rough days, and you know what? We want to see some funny stuff. We want to see some music, some memes. I mean, live streams. Use it as a thing to bring you some joy sometimes, man. Get away from the negative stuff, bro.
So I gotta ask you this. It's random, but it's not random. So like,
sure.
What's some stuff that you like to? I'm about to really expose my ADHD.
Go ahead, bro.
What is some stuff you like to look at that really genuinely makes you laugh when you're having a bad day?
All right, so they got this new thing on social media, right? It's this AI, and these babies are talking, right? Yo, it's the greatest thing ever. It is the greatest
Have
thing
you seen this
ever.
Bro, this shit is crazy,
it's
bro.
hilarious. So the baby,
Wild.
they'll ask the baby, they'll be like, yo, how did you feel when your mom, when you were in the room? And then the baby will go, yeah, it was all right until, my dad came through and I felt something poking me. You know what I'm saying? You know?
Yeah.
Or it was like, yo, my parents disrespected me. And this is like an infant, bro.
Yeah,
and the
like
AI's
fresh out the
talking,
womb, baby.
And they'll be like, yo, my parents disrespected me. They dropped the pacifier on the floor and just blew on it and put it back in my mouth. Like, yo, what y'all doing?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
AI is crazy, bro. AI is nuts, bro.
Yeah.
AI is nuts.
That's one of my like funny things that I like to do. And I also have like this weird thing. It's not weird. I have this like when people are cleaning cars, it's like a ASMR. And let's watching them clean the car and you just hear it.
Yeah, bro.
That shit is so relaxing.
I love ASMR.
to me.
So I listen to ASMR before bed. I listen to ASMR. There's certain types that I even like.
Yeah.
Like certain sounds do certain triggers. And maybe because it's my ADHD, they say ADHD people feel more intensely.
Yeah.
So when I actually feel tingles like all over my body. So I'll be in bed just laying there. And my girl be like, yo, you're nuts. Like something is wrong with this guy.
Yeah.
But another thing I've been laughing at, and people think I'm crazy, but like I love laughing at black people on anesthesia.
Oh, I definitely see at the dentist. Like, mom.
Yo, they be cracking me up. And my girl's like, yo, you are so messed up laughing at them. Like, I know I was like that when I got my wisdom teeth pulled. I know my mom said I should have recorded you and your brother because y'all was so funny and entertaining. But yeah, that's my go-to like guilty pleasure. I be laughing whenever I'm down. I'll just put on like people on anesthesia, and I'll be laughing for hours, bro. We funny as hell.
That's
funny as hell, yo.
Yeah, that's definitely one of the things. And music, getting you music.
Yeah.
Watching certain live streams, certain people talk about certain issues or whatever.
Yeah.
But music is definitely, if it's not funny videos, memes, fashion, then it's definitely music.
Absolutely.
Music, So I think those are the things. And just use social media as that. If all else fails, if you're tired of it, if it bothers you, take off all the booty shakes. Take off all the other stuff, all the extracurricular stuff y'all be looking at. And I'm talking to y'all fellas. Y'all the worst. Get off the shade room. Get off all that. Get off the booty shakes and all that. Remove that off your algorithm and just look at some fun stuff, man. Look at some stuff that actually uplifts you, makes you feel good, makes you happy, and make you smile, and then put it down.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, social media is just a tool. So whatever you do with it, if you allow it to harm you, it's going to do that.
Correct.
If you look at stuff that you have no business looking at, it's going to make you have a wondering eye. eye. You're going to struggle with certain things. What it's a tool. So if you want to use it to your benefit, use it to your benefit. If you want to use it to your detriment, that's where it's going to go.
Yes, sir.
And that's
yes,
that.
sir. And that's that, man.
That's that.
I think we gave it all to y'all today, man. We gave y'all
This
a
was
little bit
good,
of everything.
bro.
This was
Yeah,
great.
I like this.
Was,
I like what we got.
Yeah, yeah, dog. We cooking, man. We cooking with
like
grease,
this, bro.
boy.
We need a chef hat next time.
Hey,
We're gonna
hell
get some chef hats.
Right. Because we just be cooking here, man. Yo, if y'all haven't yet, man, please like, subscribe,
Please,
tune
yes.
in, send it, share it, send it to your mama, your auntie, your uncle, your grandmama. Yeah, send it to everybody, man.
Yeah.
Send it to everybody. Let them know 7 p.m. is here, and we whatever y'all want to hear, y'all want to talk about, come holler at us, man. Say, yo, listen, you guys should talk about this, talk about that, and we'll do that for y'all, man.
You know, we should do that too. Yeah. Actually, you know what? DM us on 7 p.m. in Philly podcast on their Instagram and give some topics that you would like for us to hear specifically from our point of views and stuff. I think that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, for
So
sure.
that we can actually answer what you guys want as well.
sure.
So yeah, that'd be cool. So give us some ideas. But yeah, reach out to us. We ain't blown up yet. So you can DM us.
Yeah, you can still DM us.
Reach out to
I'm
us, baby.
still
We wanna
looking
talk.
at my DMs. I don't know how much longer this is gonna go for because we on the rods. But for right now, I'm still looking at DMs.
Yeah,
man.
we're not bougie yet, so talk to us, man. We talk back. We love. It's all love.
man.
Yeah.
But with that being said, thank y'all for tuning into another episode of 7 p.m. in Philly. I'm Steve. That's Dwuan. Zach right there with us. Shout out Zach. Yo.
He gonna make an appearance
Yeah,
one
right.
day.
Yeah. Yo, thank y'all for tuning in. Much love, much respect, and we out.
She.